In this video, we're going to look at simplifying variable expressions containing rational exponents. So again, we have a reminder of the laws of exponents, which we saw in earlier modules. And in number 1, it wants us to simplify each expression, assume all variables represent positive real numbers. So we have 32 to the 2/5. And so we want to take care of the fifth root of 32 first, because it'd be a lot harder to square 32 and then take the fifth root of that. So I'm going to rewrite this as the fifth root of 32 and all of that squared. And the fifth root of 32 is 2, and then we have it squared, and 2 squared is equal to 4. So 32 raised to the 2/5 is equal to 4. In B, we have 2x squared times 16x to the 8th, all raised to the 2/5. And the first set of directions say simplify what is in the parentheses. So we want to multiply 2 times 16 and x squared times x to the 8th. So we have 2 times 16 is 32, and x squared times x to the 8th is equal to x raised to the 10th, and that's all raised to the 2/5. And now we want to apply the law of exponents. So I'm going to raise each factor inside the parentheses to the 2/5. So this is equal to 32 to the 2/5 times x to the 20/5, 10 times 2/5. And now we want to simplify. And we saw above that 32 to the 2/5 is equal to 4. And x to the 20 divided by 5 can be rewritten as x to the 4th. In C, we have 2 times x to the 1/6 times 16 x to the 2/3, all raised to the 2/5. So again, the first thing we want to do is simplify what is inside the parentheses. So 2 times 16 is 32. X to the 1/6 times x to the 2/3 is going to be x. And remember, when we multiply variables, we add their exponents. So we have 1/6 plus 2/3, and 2/3 can be written as 4/6 is equal to 5/6. So we have x to the 5/6, all raised to the 2/5. And now we want to apply the laws of exponents. So we're going to say that this is equal to 32 to the 2/5. And then we have x raised to the 5/6 raised to the 2/5. So we're going to multiply 5/6 times 2/5, giving me 10 over 30. And now we want to simplify. So 32 to the 2/5 is equal to 4. And x raised to the 10 over 30 is x to the 1/3. In D, we have 4 raised to the 3/2. So the first thing I'm going to do is rewrite this as the square root of 4, all cubed. And the square root of 4 is equal to 2, so we have 2 cubed, which is equal to 8. In E, we have 25x, all raised to the 1/2, times 4x to the 9th, all raised to the 3/2. So the first thing that I want to do is apply the laws of exponents to each factor. So we have 25 to the 1/2 times x to the 1/2 times 4 to the 3/2 times x to the 27/2. And now we want to simplify. 25 to the 1/2 is equal to 5. The square root of 25 is 5. X to the 1/2. 4 to the 3/2 we saw was equal to 8. So times 8. And then we have x to the 27/2. So now we have 5 times 8, which is equal to 40, and x to the 1/2 times x to the 27/2 is x to the 28/2. And then we can rewrite this one more time as 40x, and 28 divided by 2 is equal to 14. In 2, it says, simplify completely using order of operations. Assume the variables represent positive real numbers. And in A, we have 16x to the 6th times y divided by 9x squared y to the 7th, and all of that raised to the negative 1/2. So the first thing they want us to do is rewrite the expression so the exponent is positive. So in order to make the exponent positive, we're going to invert our fraction. So we have 9x squared y to the 7th divided by 16x to the 6th y, all raised to the 1/2 power. And now it wants us to simplify the expression inside of the parentheses, and that is equal to 9 in the numerator, and now we have x squared divided by x to the 6th, which is x to the negative 4th in the numerator, or x to the positive 4th in the denominator, and we have the 16 as our coefficient in the denominator. And then we have y to the 7th divided by y, which is y to the 6th in the numerator, all raised to the 1/2. And now they want us to simplify the expression. And it says it may be easier to rewrite the expression as a radical. So we're going to rewrite this as the square root of 9y to the 6th divided by 16x to the 4th, which is equal to the square root. Now we want to write everything as a perfect square and then square it. So the square root of 9 is 3. The square root of y to the 6th is y cubed divided by the square root of 16 is 4, and x to the 4th turns into x squared. And then we can square all that. So we wrote it as a perfect square inside the parentheses, and then we squared it. And now we can, the squared and the square root cancel each other, and we end up with 3y cubed divided by 4x squared. In B, we have 3x to the 1/2 times 24x to the 7/10 divided by 48x to the 2/5. And the first thing it wants us to do is multiply. So we're going to have 3x to the 1/2 times 24x to the 7/10 divided by 48x to the 2/5. And now it wants us to simplify the numerator. So this is equal to 3 times 24 is 72. And then we have x to the 1/2 times x to the 7/10. And since we're multiplying variables, we're going to add the exponents. And 1/2 can be written as 5/10 plus the 7/10 from the other x variable, which gives me 12/10, or 6/5. So we have 72x to the 6/5 in the numerator divided by 48x to the 2/5. And now it wants us to simplify the expression. In order to simplify this expression, we need to simplify 72 over 48, and we could write 72 as 24 times 3, and we could write 48 as 24 times 2. So the 24s are going to cancel if we were to write this in factors, and we're going to be left with 3 over 2. And x to the 6/5 divided by x to the 2/5, We're dividing variables, so we're going to subtract their exponents, and 6/5 minus 2/5 is 4/5. So we have 3x to the 4/5 divided by 2. And in C, we have 27 c to the 12th d to the 6th, all raised to the 2/3, divided by 8c cubed d raised to the 10th, all raised to the -1. It says, write so all exponents are positive. So we're going to rewrite this as 27 c to the 12th d to the 6th, all raised to the 2/3. And if the exponent is negative in the denominator, it becomes positive in the numerator. So we have times 8c cubed d to the 10th, all raised to the +1. And now it wants us to simplify. So I'm going to raise each factor inside the parentheses to the exponents. We have 27 raised to the 2/3, c to the 12th times 2/3, which is 24/3, d to the 6th raised to the 2/3 is d to the 12/3, and then we have times 8 times c cubed d to the 10th. And now I'm going to simplify all my rational exponents. So I have 27 to the 2/3, and that gives me 9. The cube root of 27 is 3, and then we squared it to get 9. C, we have to the 24/3, which is equal to 8. D is 12 raised to the 12 divided by 3, which is d to the 4th, times 8c cubed d to the 10th. And now I want to combine all my like factors. So I have 9 times 8 is 72. C to the 8th power times c cubed is c to the 11th. D to the 4th times d to the 10th is d to the 14th. And that's all for this video on simplifying variable expressions containing rational exponents.